Hey everyone, Dr. B here. Thanks for tuning in. Wanted to talk to you guys today about how to know when your loved one is struggling with drug or alcohol abuse. You'd be amazed the stories that I hear where loved ones don't know for months or even years that a family member or a spouse or a child is using drugs or alcohol on a daily basis right underneath their nose without having any idea. Um, I'm sure there's usually some denial or not wanting to recognize that there's a problem, but there's also the fact that, addicts can be very good at manipulating, at hiding things, and just kind of pretending that everything's okay, or coming up with stories to kind of explain their behavior. And so wanted to give you, kind of just some things to look out for to really be able to identify when a loved one is starting to struggle with drug or alcohol abuse. One of the first things you can really notice in a person is kind of changes in their mood, or behavior. So they have kind of mood swings where they'll be super, energetic, happy, and, kind of happy-go-lucky, full of energy in one moment, and then, kind of depressed and out of it and feeling really lethargic and just kind of wanting to sleep all day the next moment, kind of a crash. Also personality changes. A lot of times people will become more short-tempered or agitated or easily fly off the handle, when just talking about regular things, or you ask them a question and they just get super defensive. Another thing are difficulties at school or work, starting to show up late, or work performance or school performance starting to drop, grades going down, performance reviews starting to really become more negative. Changes in physical appearance, is a big one. Lack of grooming, not caring, how they appear or present, with their dress, or kind of, wearing dirty or old clothes that, kind of, again, just overall lack of grooming and decrease in how they present. Also with bloodshot eyes, or, kind of their skin tone changing color. What else? Money, finances is a big thing. If they're spending a lot more money or asking to borrow money, if you find them stealing things or notice things are missing, that can be an indicator that they're selling things to pawn to get money to buy drugs. Changes in friendships, if they're all of a sudden hanging out with new friends or kind of a new group of people that seem a little bit shady or off, and not spending as much time with old close friends who are more healthy and supportive and not into drugs or alcohol, that can be a big sign as well. Changes in appetite, a lot of times people who are drinking, using drugs, really lose their appetite completely and stop eating, lose a lot of weight, so that can be a big indicator as well. Neglecting responsibilities around the house, as well as at work or school, kind of just more of an indifference, kind of to life and what needs to get done. Social withdrawal is a big one, becoming much more alienated, isolated. If you find them kind of disappearing for periods of time, or you again just kind of sleeping for long periods of time, where they're recovering from, a binge, usually that can be an indicator. As well as engaging in risky behaviors, whether it's driving while under the influence of alcohol or drugs, engaging in unprotected sex, stealing, any legal issues that start to arise can also be an indicator. So lots of things that you can look out for, and then if you try to ask, your loved one about any of these things, and just have a really kind of open and honest, conversation about what you're seeing or noticing about these changes, and they tend to get really defensive and attack you, that can just be another sign as well that, there's something there that they're hiding, but always approach them with love and concern, and then help them see that, you're noticing things that, are worrying you, and that you want them to, kind of look at what you're noticing and have a conversation about it. And hopefully they're open to it and willing to kind of, explore it further. So hope that's helpful. Thanks for tuning in. As always, send me any questions through email or direct message for topics you want me to address in the future. Thanks for your time. Take care of yourself and others. Peace and love.